For years, we've all been told the same thing, right? Protein and magnesium are the go-to for muscle health as we age. But what if the real secret to rebuilding strength, especially after 60, isn't about that at all? What if it's about two vitamins we've completely overlooked? In this explainer, we're going to break down the incredible science behind this powerhouse duo, and I promise it might change everything you thought you knew about muscle restoration.
Just think about that for a second. This idea of a secret mechanism working behind the scenes while we're sleeping, it totally rewrites the playbook for muscle recovery in older adults. It's not about just pushing harder at the gym. It's about giving your body the right signals to actually repair itself.
And that's the big question we're tackling. We're going to challenge that old conventional wisdom to uncover a smarter, more effective way to hold on to our strength and our vitality as we get older.
So here it is, side by side, the common wisdom versus the deeper science. Look, magnesium is important, no doubt about it. But what the new research is showing us is that these two vitamins play a much more direct, more fundamental role in actually rebuilding muscle. So let's get into it.
First things first, before we can talk about the solution, we have to really understand the problem. And it's a silent one, something that happens deep down at the cellular level. We're talking about two key concepts here, sarcopenia and something called anabolic resistance.
And check out this number, a decline of up to 5% per decade. I mean, wow. This isn't just about feeling a bit weaker. This is about losing your resilience, your balance, your independence. This is the real-world cost of what's happening inside ourselves.
So this is the real culprit, anabolic resistance. You can think of it like your muscle cells are, well, they're starting to go a little deaf. All those important growth signals from the food you eat and the exercise you do, signals that used to be loud and clear, are now barely a whisper, and that makes it so much harder to repair and build new muscle.
This analogy of a kinked hose is just perfect for explaining it. Imagine your diet and exercise are the faucet, turned on full blast, sending all those great growth signals down the hose. But anabolic resistance, that's a big kink right at the start. So it doesn't matter how hard you crank that faucet, only a tiny trickle of that signal actually gets through to the muscle. Now, magnesium can help at the end of the hose, but our two key vitamins, they go right to the source and fix the kink itself.
So how do we unkink that hose? Well, it's time to meet the dynamic duo that can get the job done. And these aren't some weird exotic compounds. They're two vitamins we all know, but most of us have been dramatically underestimating their power. Vitamin D and vitamin K2.
All right, first up is vitamin D. And you really shouldn't think of it as just a vitamin. It's more like the conductor of the entire muscle-building orchestra. It's a powerful regulator that's calling all the shots, right down to the genetic level.
I mean, the sheer scope of vitamin D's job is incredible. It's not just doing one little thing, it's setting off a whole chain reaction. It wakes up the muscle's own stem cells, it fine-tunes the electrical signals for every muscle contraction by managing calcium, and it even helps fuel the tiny power plants in your cells. It's an absolute superstar.
But you know, even the best conductor can't do it all alone. Every great orchestra needs a stage manager to make sure everything runs smoothly. And that is exactly the role of vitamin K2. It makes sure all the key players are in the right place at the right time.
And here is the absolute key to their partnership. Vitamin D helps you absorb calcium, right? But it's vitamin K2 that tells that calcium where to go. It's like a traffic cop, directing calcium into your muscles and bones where you need it for strength, and crucially, keeping it out of your arteries where it can cause problems. This teamwork is just essential. And this brings us to a really important point. We are not kicking magnesium to the curb here, not at all. We're just finally understanding its proper place on the team. You see, no single nutrient is ever a magic bullet. Biology is all about synergy.
Exactly. It's not a replacement, it's an alliance. Vitamin D, vitamin K2, and magnesium, they form this powerful trio where each one makes the other two work even better. It's like a three-legged stool. If you take one away, the whole system just gets wobbly.
This electrical circuit analogy is the perfect way to picture how they all work together. Vitamin D is the switch. It flips on the genetic signal for muscle repair. Then, vitamin K2 acts as the director, making sure that electrical current, which is the calcium, flows down the correct wire to the muscle. And magnesium? It's the stabilizer, providing the steady, reliable power needed to keep that entire circuit running without a hitch.
Okay, so we've covered the science, the what and the why. Now let's get practical. Let's turn all this knowledge into an actual plan you can use every single day to sync up your nutrition, your body's natural rhythms, and your recovery for the best possible results. This timeline gives you a simple but really powerful daily blueprint. You start the day with some sunlight to get your own vitamin D production going. You take your D3 and K2 supplements with a breakfast that has some fat in it. That's key for absorption. Then fuel your muscles with a protein-rich lunch. You stimulate them with some resistance training in the afternoon. And then in the evening, you bring in the magnesium and create that cool, dark environment to trigger deep, restorative, overnight repair.
And here's a handy little guide to help you get these nutrients in. You've got great food sources for each one, plus some really important notes on supplements. Like always taking D3 with fat, looking for the MK7 form of K2 because your body uses it better, and choosing gentler forms of magnesium, like glycinate or malate.
So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. Aging isn't just something that happens to us. What we once thought was this unavoidable decline is actually an active process, one that responds to the signals we send it every single day. Through light, through movement, through rest, and through the right nutrients, we can literally change the conversation our body is having with itself. The goal isn't just to add more years to our life, but to add more life back into our years. So the only question left is, what signal are you going to send today?